Hello, this is Jamie Asgardy. I'm doing my final video for Education 512 Diverse Learners, summer of 2014. And a couple questions that we had to answer. So starting with number 1, differentiation of instruction. It's specifically designed and implemented instruction based on different students' needs, abilities, and learning styles. Differentiated instruction is being responsive to our students. It's responsive teaching. Many teachers believe that they are differentiating, but in reality they are teaching using best practice. Best practice teaching is for all students, and it's a great way to teach, but it's not differentiation. Assuming that best practice teaching is differentiation can be harmful to students who indeed need differentiation of instruction to fully grasp concepts, or maybe even to those students who have the knowledge but can't produce evidence of that knowledge in the teacher-prescribed assessment. The knowledge of differentiated instruction comes with the responsibility of implementation. Differentiated instruction is designed to help all students succeed regardless of any physical or mental limitations. This is a responsibility that should not be taken lightly. I will use differentiated instruction and tiered learning in my planning process in the future, and I know it will not be an easy task in the beginning, but if I start now, my work and my students in the future will be blessed. They will benefit from my practice. Number 2, the area of my instruction that needs improvement is teaching naturally. After watching my videos of teaching in my Cooperating Teachers Advanced Language class, I realized that I am more of a speaker, asking for questions and providing little feedback to the students. I need to be more natural when teaching lessons, and I need to be more fluid. Steps that I will take to strengthen my teaching in this area are to prepare my knowledge of the topic of instruction, realize and accept that I am the teacher, and most of all be confident in myself and in my knowledge. I think that these should all help me to become more natural when I am teaching, rather than simply being a teacher, rather than being a speaker who scaffolds too much. Number 3, out of the 6 IDEA principles, I would say the least restrictive environment principle is the closest to being out of compliance based on what I observed during my field experience for this class. I noticed 3 specific students daily who were taken out of their class, out of the general education classroom. 2 of those students were hard of hearing, and I did not know the disability of the 3rd student. 2 of the students who were being taken out of the class had a co-teacher during instruction who used American Sign Language. After general instruction each day, the co-teacher would then take each of the 3 students into her resource room, classroom for the remaining class period. And I don't know honestly whether or not that resource room was the least restrictive learning environment for these students. I do know that they were isolated from their peers, and they were isolated from social interaction and collaboration in the classroom. I can support compliancy and policy change by attending meetings, modeling correct differentiation strategies, and by being vocal about the differentiation process with my colleagues. I also know now that I can be the advocate for change if there's not already an advocate for change. And question number 4 was, what student disability is most likely going to impact my instruction next year? How will I best accommodate this or these students? And so naturally, the disability that will most impact my instruction next year is the disability that I researched over the past 4 weeks, which was mild moderate hearing loss. I now know after my research, that many students with mild-moderate hearing loss go undetected, even after school hearing screenings. I believe that it would be best practice to assume that I have at least one student with mild-moderate hearing loss in my classroom at all times. Knowing this, I will speak clearly by enunciating and not speaking too quickly. I will also be aware to turn off fans or any other audible distractions or anything that's in my room that's on while teaching orally. I will also keep in mind to speak when facing my students and not talk to the board so that students can actually see my lips when I'm giving instruction. I will also ask students and be open in communication. I will ask students if they can hear me okay, or if I need to speak louder as a pre-assessment of how my voice needs to be during specific class periods. I hope to make the connections necessary with my students throughout the year where they can feel open enough to come to me and communicate their needs as well. And then number 5, list 8 principles for making a difference. List 8 principles for making differentiation a habit. Create a list that will include critical elements for creating student success and leadership. And so the 8 principles that I created, I'll just start here from the top. Number 1, use best practice with flexibility for modification for individuals. Number 2, teach in the manner I would want my kids or my nieces and nephews, since I don't have kids, to be taught. So teach in the way I would want my loved ones to be taught. Number 3, be fair but not equal. This is the biggest thing I think for differentiation, is being fair to all of my students, giving them a fair opportunity for their education, but not every student will be treated equally. Some students obviously need more scaffolding or more support than other students. Number 4, plan with a purpose to differentiate. I think the key, at least in the beginning, for differentiating is planning. Making sure that I plan ahead of time for differentiation. Being aware of my student needs, being aware of different disabilities that may be in the room, and planning ahead of time. Not having to think of something on the spot for them. Number 5, again, plan. Plan with tiered learning in mind. I think that by planning with differentiating in mind, but also with tiered learning in mind, this is also going to alleviate some of the problems that may come for teachers who are just using best practice. The big key is going to be plan. And with that in mind, number 6, again, plan using the essential, important to know, and worthwhile to know model. I think the model with the 3 circles is crucial as well. So it's definitely planning, as 4, 5, and 6 would say. Number 7, teach with the mindset that each child is my responsibility. If someone isn't getting it, what can I do better? So taking the responsibility upon myself, not giving the responsibility or passing it off to the special education teacher or other teachers that my students may have, but knowing that, or even not even passing it off on the parents, but knowing that if my student is not grasping a concept, then what can I do better to make my student, give my student more opportunities to grasp the concept and to show the concepts and show evidence of learning as well, evidence of mastery. Number 8, practice, practice, practice. I think the biggest thing, especially in the beginning, is going to be practicing it until it becomes a habit. So practice will not make perfect, but practice will make me better and more well informed in regards to differentiating instruction. I know I won't get it right the first time or even the second or third, but I do know that I will get better with practice. And with that, I know that no 2 students will ever be the same, and no 2 situations will be the same. But having the background knowledge and having previous experiences with practice is going to help make it worth it. So I learned a great deal in this 4-week diverse learners class, and I appreciate everything that you've done for us, Dr. Pettit, and I am looking forward to incorporating differentiation of instruction into my future lessons now that I have a much better understanding. Okay, and thank you, and hope you're having a great day.